guys, we're back with lesson 2.6, graphing on the coordinate plane, and we're going to look at some special cases. So this is video 5, looking at special cases here. There's 3 specific ones that we want to look at. This one here, where it appears to be no y or b, and when that happens, let's go back, and if you'll remember, slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b. And here we have y is equal to x. Well, if you recall, if there's a variable and it doesn't have a coefficient, it has the understood 1. Okay? So really, there is an m value. The slope on this equation is 1. And when you do slope, if it's a whole number, you remember you want to do it over, make it a fraction, so it's 1 over 1. The b value is what's added to the end. Now, if I were to have a 0 here, if we were to be adding 0, we don't write plus 0 on the end of anything. That's just, we don't ever do that. So the b value had to be 0 if there was no number there. So the b value is 0, or the y-intercept is, as an ordered pair, is 0, 0. So when we go to graph that one, we do have a slope and a y-intercept. The y-intercept is what you start with, and that's 0, 0, which is the origin. Okay. And the slope is 1, so it's rise 1, run 1. You fill in as many places as you can on your graph. Okay, that was going to the right. We also need to go in the opposite direction, so we get some on the left side of the origin. So it's to down 1 and to the left 1. And filling in as many places as we can on those. Remember, we can do that because slope is going to down is a negative. Going to the left is a negative, and negative divided by negative is a positive. So the slope is 1 either way. Now, let's connect our dots using the line. You always want to pick up a ruler when you're doing this. Don't just try to freehand it. It's going to be very important in our next unit when we take and do systems of equations. So get in the good habit of always using a ruler while you are graphing lines. Okay, we're putting arrows on the end of it to show that it goes in both directions. Now we're going to come back over here to this one. This one looks really strange because there's just a y and a 3. So a y and a 3. If we look at that, I'm going to kind of talk about it, but then I'm going to show you the really easy way to graph it. So we're going back to slope-intercept form where y is equal to mx plus b. Now, if the m value is 0, right here, that means 0 times x. 0 times x is just 0. So that means that we wouldn't write down the x value. That's the reason why there's no x there, is because the slope is 0, and 0 times anything is 0. Now, what's by itself? What doesn't have anything with it? The b value. The b is by itself, and it's 3. Okay, so we're going to, or our y-intercept is, whoops, sorry, let me undo that right there. Okay, so y-intercept is what I meant to write. The y-intercept is 0, 3. Okay, so 0, 3 here. And our slope is 0. 0 means it's 0 over any number, 0 over 1. So that means we don't go up any, and we go to the right one. We don't go up any, we go to the right one. So that pattern continues all the way out through there. What I like to think of, though, that's the mathematical reasoning, but when I look at it myself, this is what I say. I go to where y is equal to 0, y is equal to 3. Y is equal to 3 right here. And I'm going to draw the line where y is always 3. And if I looked at this point, this is the point 1, 3. This is the point 2, 3. This is the point 3, 3. And it goes on. Y is always 3 on this horizontal line right here. And I told you guys to do a ruler, and I didn't pick up my ruler. Okay, so here you're going to draw the horizontal line, connecting those dots, and put your arrows on the end of it to show that it continues on. Okay. Now the third one here that looks very different is where there's no y value. So in this one, it's the same kind of concept as what we have up here, but there's no y value. So remember how I told you, go to where y is equal to 3 on this one? This time I'm going to tell you to go to where x is equal to -2. So x is -2 right here, and I'm going to put a dot right there. And this says x is equal to -2, so x is always -2. X is always -2 on this line right here, this vertical line. Okay. So I'll put my dots in there, going in both directions. This vertical line has an undefined slope. So we're going to pick up our ruler, connect the dots to make our vertical line, put our arrows on there. And we have a vertical line. So if you have a y equal and there's no x, you have a horizontal line. And if you have an x equal to a number and there's no y value, you have a vertical line. So that would have an undefined slope. And this one has a 0 slope. This one has a slope of 1. Okay. So those are 3 special ones. They're really easy to get mixed up and get confused on. So there is a acronym that we use to kind of help us do that, to memorize that, and it's HOI-VUX. And you'll take a few minutes and probably do a foldable with your teacher right here. But H being horizontal, and if you ever have a horizontal line, and I don't know if I can write this very good. Trying here, horizontal. If you ever have a horizontal line, it has a 0 slope. And it's always a y is equal to. If you have a vertical line, let's change colors on my pen. A vertical line, it has an undefined slope. And the equation of that line is x is equal to a number. So that HOI-VUX is a little acronym that helps you memorize that if it's a y equal to a number, it's horizontal. If it's an x equal to a number, it's a vertical. And your teacher will go over that with you in class. So I'm going to pause right here, let you do these 3 U-tries, and we'll come back in just a moment. Make sure you check that your answers and your graphs are correct.